Oh, it's so great to be back. Welcome to yet another episode of Aspire to Inspire, where we interview industry professionals. Today is a very special guest. Not only have I had the honor of crossing her path virtually in a similar setting like this, but an amazing conversation is going to be brought to us by the amazing award-winning actress, producer, and director, Malika Blessing. I have the honor of reading a gist of her bio so that our viewers watching and listening can get a gist of who she is and what she's about. So real quickly, before I bring her onto stage, Malika Blessing is an award-winning actress, director, and producer. She is a powerhouse, nonetheless, in the entertainment industry, known for her versatility in screen and stage and her exceptional work behind the scenes. Some of her credits, just jumping down for a bit, her on-screen credits include starring alongside Loretta Devine in Don B. Welch's The Lost Souls, The Lost Souls Cafe for TV One, leading roles in the horror film Grim Reaver, and the holiday favorite Hope Street Holiday, both streaming on Amazon Prime, and guest starring appearance on Tyler Perry's The Haves and the Have-Nots on OWN TV Network. Behind the scenes, she has served as a producer for Michael Collier's The King of Venice Beach comedy special, directed by Leslie Small. And currently, Malika shines in her role as Kaden in AMC/ALLBLK's hit series Wicked City. Such an amazing show. Her bio concludes, her impressive portfolio demonstrates her commitment to excellence nonetheless, and her ability to thrive across multiple facets of the entertainment industry. Without further ado, I'm going to bring Malika onto stage. How are you doing, Malika? How are you?
How are you? Good to see you.
Likewise. I mean, I know I just stated your bio and kind of gave the world the gist of what you do, but during this interview, I would love to just hear from you. I mean, I had the honor of kind of being in a similar setting like this before, but I feel like this is kind of a bit more personal and a bit more tangible, in a nice little atmosphere that we have of both creatives who are in the business. And as a creative myself, I love to hear how people got their start and where did it all begin. So I would love to officially open the floor and ask you the very first question. What drew you to this business called the entertainment industry, and where did it all start for you, Malika?
I love Diana Ross. Like, I am a huge Diana Ross fan. And when I saw Lady Sings the Blues, I knew that I wanted to do that. Like, the emotion, and I really didn't know at a young age, but how she resonated with me, I knew I wanted to do that on television. Then comedy, I fell in love with Marla Gibbs in the Jeffersons. So I was watching, even though I was, younger and in the repeats, I was watching the Jeffersons, the Good Times, the Three's Companies. I fell in love with the comedic timing. Like, I knew that was something that I wanted to do. My mom said when I first started reading, my teachers always told her that I read with expression. I always wanted to read. Like, I would raise my hand because I would think that the way that the other kids was reading, that it wasn't entertaining enough, or it didn't enlighten me, or I wasn't connected. And so I was like, oh, I could do a better job. Let me read. So she said that they always told her that I read with expression. Then she put me into Shakespeare acting classes, and I started to do those. And she started to notice that acting is what I stuck to. I did violin, I did ballet, I did double dutch, I did basketball. I mean, I did everything, but acting was the only thing that I literally stuck to. And then did something in class. I was in my Shakespeare acting class and in regular school, and child was bad or something. I don't know what I did. So my mom said, I'm taking away your acting classes. And she said, I told her that please don't do that because it will hurt my heart. So she knew then that, okay, this is something that she loves and that she's connected to. You know what I mean? And then from there, I would do the family videos, home videos. I was always doing the skits. In high school, I always was directing the skits for the homecoming and the talent shows and different things like that. And just always knew that it was something about performing that I loved. And it started in 6th grade when I auditioned for Santa Claus. and it was the lead role, but it was for a guy. And they were saying that I couldn't audition for it because I was female. And I went to my mom and I was like, I don't understand. You know, I can sound like Santa Claus and I can, you know, do the ho, 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 you know, whatever I need to do, I can do it. And so my mom, honey, she is a supporter system. Okay. She has my backbone. So she was like, that is not fair. She should be able to audition. And so anyway, they let me audition and I got the role and I played Santa Claus. And back then I didn't know, but then when I reflect back, like just the perseverance, just the knowing that I can do it, knowing that I believed in myself, knowing that my support system, which my mom believed in myself, and I wanted that role. You know what I mean? I wanted to go after it, and I ended up getting it. And yeah, I was Santa Claus. I was the lead.
Oh my goodness, I love that story. And let me just dissect on why. It's a beautiful, I guess, testimony in a sense of your perseverance and your dedication of not even knowing the craft, but knowing that if this is taken away from me, it's going to hurt my heart. At such a young age, just realizing that and understanding that. And even for a supportive community like your mother to be able to aid you through that. Again, beautiful testimony. And I always love people how they get started because it's always from school. It's always from a theater production within, you know, something with the arts within the community. But it always ties back, all to say. It always ties back. And I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh, yeah. That was, and then, of course, it transitioned to being a theater major at Grambling, where I went all the way to get my master's in theater. And I picked up other skills of directing and producing. And really, at the time, when I was at Grambling, I didn't know I was producing. I would, first of all, I wanted to be in the hottest production. Okay, that's number one. So anything that was like the children's stories or Peter Pan or, you know, Snow White, I always did the behind the scenes. I don't know why, I just did. I always wanted to be in the hot shows. So anytime I was in the shows, I would go to the president of the university, the VP of finance, the VP of student affairs. I would go to all the persons in those departments and invite them to come to the show because I knew if they came, then they would bring their office. Then there would be students would come. Then the president would come. So I had, as far as that marketing, that producer mind, I had it back then of knowing how to help sell a house, but not knowing what I was doing at that time. So again, when I reflect back, I'm like, wow, I already had this mentality of just organizing and putting things together and making sure I moved in excellence and knew what I wanted. You know what I mean? I knew the shows. I could read the script and like, oh man, this is a good script.
Right. To be able to identify it, you know what I mean? Again, looking back, not realizing all the preparation, and then you don't look at it as preparation, but, you know, currently in this state of your life that you're currently in right now with wisdom and experience and being put in positions of earning that position, you can look back at that preparation and be like, okay, I see the organization skills. I see the power of putting people together and this person being introduced to this person. That's some people, you know, in the season, and where I'm getting at is in the current season and where you are right now, you don't know where it can lead you to where your future self can be. So thank you for bringing that.
And that also inspires the importance of networking. So with me networking and reaching out and not being afraid, right? Being bold, not being afraid, then other opportunities came from that. So then from there, I became Miss Floyd Alexandra, which is the theater department's queen. Then I went on to be Miss April, Miss Congeniality in the CoverGirl pageant. You know what I mean? Just because they knew who I was. And I started networking and not knowing I was networking. You know what I mean? Now I know now, but for those who are watching and listening, it's important to identify who can help you, but not doing it in a way of only to gain something from it, but how can you be of service to them and how they can be of service to you, and how you could come together to make it better for everybody. So then that way everyone can be of service to everyone once you collaborate together. You know what I mean? And that's
So
what
true.
it's about. Of you being in those pageants, I was able to raise money for different organizations because of that. It wasn't just to get a crown. It was also how I can benefit and be a blessing to someone else. When a Miss Congeniality, being inspiring to people, to other contestants, while was while we were going through it together. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah.
So true, so true. And I love that. Just bring the understanding the power of networking and also the heart posture of networking and not being, I hate to say gimme, gimme, but
Yeah.
there's a organic exchange that needs to
Yes.
occur where we both can elevate together, or we all can elevate together to gain something as a unit rather than just me as the individual. So
Right.
thank you so much for sharing that on the power of networking. And my question, kind of steering away from networking, but more talking about the misconceptions within the industry that individuals may have. And of course, it's not their fault, but there's some misconceptions that a lot of people have in terms of the role of an actor or a director or producer. And the question states, well, there are a lot of misconceptions people have about the job of an actor. However, can you give viewers an insight on one of the biggest misconceptions someone may have told you, and just debunking it and how it's false and how the business really is from your experience and from your area of expertise, if you can share?
You know, I had an audition. I believe it was either my senior year in high school, and the casting director told me that you will never do film. You're a caricature type actor. You won't be able to elevate. You will stay in one spot. And so, and I remember thinking like, wow, you know what I mean? Like that was, I understood the, you know, to get the feedback, but then for him to tell me that I would only be in one spot and I would only be a character. So in my mind, I thought that it was being fake. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be able to be true to the work and to the artistry of, or the challenges of film and television, other things that I was trying to go after. And I'm not gonna lie, it was in the back of my head that that's all that I can do is character type, playing someone else and making fun of that type of character. You know what I mean? Like if I played an older lady and who I am now, you know, my age, and playing an older lady, then that becomes a caricature of how I play that person. Funny, you know what I mean? Stereotypical. So that's in my mind, it was like, oh wow, I can only do character type things. And then my mom, it's like, you know, God has given you a gift. And as long as you hone your skills and you do what you're supposed to do, the sky is the limit. Don't let one person tell you what you can do and what you're capable of. So then, therefore, once I went into school, went to college, and I was hands on with the behind the scenes, the front of the scenes of not limiting myself and learning from the lights, from the stage management, from directing, to all these different things, and knowing how to dissect the script and break it down and how to be connected to the character and research. Then it's like, oh, okay. So I wish I knew who it was. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm like, I've done theater, I've done film, I've done television. I've been blessed to really do it all. You know what I mean? To where I understood, first of all, understanding the genre, understanding which medium. Film is different from theater, theater is different from television, you know what I mean, or
Right.
sitcom. So being able to understand that, but knowing that, excuse me, God gave me a gift, okay, so I can do whatever my heart desires, and as long as I hone my skill and I research, and I love this, I live and breathe this. Woody King, one of my mentors, and you guys, if you guys don't know him, look him up. New Federal Theater out of New York. He said every day you should be doing something towards your career. Reading, studying, watching a film, watching your favorite actor, actress, writing. Now we have YouTube. Now we have Google. We have social media. It's so many mediums that we can do, so that way, whatever our desires are and our dreams are and what we want to do, we have to do something every day to help meet that goal. God is to you. It's already divine order what it's going to give you, but we also got to be prepared. So as long as we prepare ourselves, then the sky's the limit.
Right.
So just overcoming that I am enough. What I put my mind to and what I say I want to do, and we do it. If we think about it, we every day we automatically think we're going to get up. Automatically. If we may wake up and pray and say, God, thank you for waking me up this morning. When I pray, I'm like, God, thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you that I'm able to walk. Thank you that I'm able to run. Thank you that I'm able to hear, smell, taste, everything, because we take things for granted. But I still, when I go to sleep, I'm like, okay, what's my day for tomorrow? What's my agenda? We already think that. So if we already are prepared and think that and have that mindset and manifest, we're going to wake up the next day, then why not manifest our dreams, our goals, and what we want to do?
Exactly.
And speak it to existence. It's going to happen. God said you should have the desire of your heart.
So true.
Just like
so
what
true.
You're doing. God put that in your spirit, in your heart of what you wanted to do. And you're being selfless by what? Allowing us as artists to have this platform to be able to talk to other people and to tell our story and to tell our testimony in order to be a blessing to someone, to where if they get one nugget that motivates them to say, man, I can do it. I can believe in myself. I can write my own play. I can write my own skit. I can write my own feature. I don't have to be afraid. I am enough. You set that up.
Oh, no, that's God who allowed me to bring this into fruition. Everything I do. Yeah, the obedience. And it's so crazy. I posted on my story today, just our obedience is what the outside world will view to be success.
Yeah.
And I think that just resonated with me today. I posted it on Instagram on my stories, but I was just really reflecting, even in my time of devotions with God, and just being like, in this season of my life, in this chapter, I want to be obedient to this.
Yeah.
I don't want to be obedient to acting. I don't want to be obedient to auditioning. I want to be obedient to this, because this has connected me with people in which I admire, and coming with a heart of reverence and a heart of gratitude. I always want to share and listen and hear why people love what they do. It is something about it that sets me on fire in the best way possible. And for you to bring that up and to, oh my goodness, to speak life. And I know it's not about me and it's not about this platform, but it's about God. God is in and through all of this. For you to bring him up and for this to be the conversation in which we're having, it's confirmation. It's just confirmation over and over and over again. I appreciate you. I have so many more questions, but I appreciate you.
We're in the alignment of God and what he has for us. So when we're in our purpose and what we're supposed to do, and however God navigates us to the way to get to our purpose, because sometimes we're not ready. You know what I mean? I had to learn that the hard way of being a producer and being behind the scenes and being a blessing to others and making sure that they grow and they elevate in their careers. And I was like, God, okay, well, when is it my turn? You know, I love acting. This is what I want to do. You know, you gave me this gift. I didn't ask for it. You gave it to me. When is it going to be my turn? But still wanting to see my people win. I'm the first one to post, to praise, to be a fan, to be a cheerleader. I love it. I love to see people win. But I was like, God, when is going to be my turn? He said, baby, Your journey is different. Their journey is their journey. That has
Right.
nothing to do with you. So
Mm,
once I stop wondering and controlling what my journey was supposed to be and stop straddling the fence with God and allowed him to be the lead.
right.
Okay. I can't produce God. I can't produce me. Let him do that for me. When I got to that space, even though y'all supposed to have y'all headshots and stuff, I didn't care about headshots. I didn't care about my reel. I didn't care if my resume was updated because I knew IMDb had all of that. It was about God. Whatever you have for me, I'm ready. I'm ready to receive it. I'm ready to embrace it. If it's at this moment of what I'm learning is to be able to lift up other people, if that's my purpose, before outside of what you're gonna give me, I'm all for it. I have to
Right.
receive it and I have to accept it. And then God started moving.
Yes, yes. That's so essential in terms
Yeah.
of going after this industry in the heart posture of a believer and understanding divine alignment,
Yeah.
understanding the, I don't want to say the importance, but a synonym, the significance of praising others and being a cheerleader for others, and understanding that season of I hate to say waiting, but it's more of anticipation and knowing your time
Mm-hmm.
is coming, that's where character work is being developed. And I
Mm-hmm.
loved how you said you're looking at someone else's journey. That's not for you, that is for them.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, it's so beautifully said, and it resonates with me. It resonates with artists, all ends of the business and industry. But I appreciate those words being spoken and manifested and resonated so much to me and for folks who are going to be watching and listening to this. But
Yeah.
a few more questions for you, because I love to talk about your film credits in your work. Earlier, I mean, you attested to this, but I love to learn more about your technique in terms of getting into character. And earlier I stated your credits, and I know you and seen you on Wicked City, and I think that you are a beautiful actress and you transcend from whom I'm speaking to right now to a character, Caden, on All Black and AMC's
Yeah.
Wicked City, which is amazing to kind of witness and also just to speak with you. It's just like,
Yeah.
this is not the same person. That's how
Yeah.
I know, yeah, you understand the craft and you can transcend what's on the page or what's in the script. So I would love to, even out of all your credits, what has been your favorite role to play when it comes to either your stage work, your film, your TV work? Is there a particular role that resonates with you?
Um, I can't say I have a favorite role. I do love stage. Stage is it's in the moment. It's there's no cuts. It's right there in your face. It's my foundation. And it's what helped make me who I am today as far as an artist. You know what I mean? I can't say I have anything favorite because I love working and I love being able to take a character and explore who that person is and dissect it and break it down and write a bio about the character, which were part of my breakdown in my study is finding out my backstory of who that character is, right? And then what are my objectives, my when, where's, and whys? Why am I doing it? Why do I feel this? And then also I read the script multiple times. I read it like a novel. So then that way I'm able to discover and get my aha moments. And then I read it in a different space that I'm in. Sometimes I may be tired. Sometimes I'm happy. Sometimes I got upset and pissed off, and I'm reading my script. So then, therefore, I'm reading it in different emotional states, and then I'm getting different aha moments for that
Mm,
character to in order
mm,
to bring out, because as humans our emotions are up and down.
right.
So I try to read the script in me being in different settings, you know what I'm saying, of my being, you know what I mean. um and just researching, like for Wicked City, for Caden, especially that first season, Kaden dialogue was limited. So I had to define her in more of a physical traits, how she walked, how she moved, how she talked. She moved with purpose. She tilted her head a certain way. You know what I mean? So I was able to watch other shows that were sci-fi type shows, and then also what I had wrote my backstory of who she was, and then created Kaden based on that. So then therefore, that even if she was limited dialogue, people were like, who is this character? I want to know more about her. So then therefore, Kaden, you learn more about her in season 2. Then you learn more about her in season 3. She even had a relationship in season 3. You know what I mean? So, but that came from understanding and knowing who Kaden was, then how to portray her to make her relevant. You know, it's a cliche. They say there's no small parts of small people. It's for real. You have to be able to know who the character is enough, so that way, even if you don't have any lines, it's still profound. The facial expressions, the movement, how you're interacting with your scene partner, even if you don't have dialogue, being in tune, being in that space, so that way it works. That's how team works. That's how being co-stars work. When you're not being a selfish actor, not worrying about me when the camera's on me, but how you can work as an ensemble. And if you are in the pocket with your craft and what you're doing and your character, then you're going to be in the pocket for the other person. That's why they have categories: supporting actor,
Exactly.
lead, and guest stars. And they have that for a reason. You need those persons, and they need to be in the pocket and know their position in order to be effective. So that way it works overall, where people say, man, that show is good. Why? Because everybody is doing their part.
Exactly. Oh, so well. So like a true thespian that turned over to film and TV and still doing what she loves. I love that you talked about the importance of well, the saying that comes to my mind, and I'm not going to get it verbatim, is there's no such thing as small roles or small parts.
Right.
It's understanding the craft in bringing, I feel like bringing yourself to a character to move the story along, even hitting on co-stars and supporting roles. Our jobs is to move the story forward and to bring the story to life in that sense. And just having that small, hate to say small, but having that significant part within the story to move things along helps us be storytellers and help bring the story to life. So I appreciate you highlighting the term of a co-star and supporting roles for those who may not know, or those who are watching, and understanding that there's no such thing as small roles. Even background plays a significant part.
Absolutely.
Without backgrounds, a film can't really be truthful.
Absolutely.
Or really reflect real life in a sense. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, the writer wrote it for a reason.
Right.
So if the writer has written a character in the script, in the story, and they have 2 lines, 3 lines, under 5, it's needed to drive the story. So there's no such thing as small parts, small people, because you have a small minded where you feel like, man, I only got, 5 lines. Let me tell you, when I did Tyler Perry, the Have and Have Nots, I had 5 lines, and 3 of them was style. So, and Tyler, Mr. Perry had asked me to, he was like, oh, okay, that's great. Go back to stop. We want to pick up. I said, which one? You know what I mean? And he started laughing. But I'm, baby, honey, let me tell you, them stops, I gave a different stop. And when I went to set, I was excited. I was happy for the opportunity, and I had to make it my own so that way I can stand out. You know what I mean? You have to make it your own and make choices and realize that these characters are not fictitious. We're real people. So how would you react? How would you respond? You know what I mean? You that's when you bring the truth to a character. How I would respond. So even when I do an audition and I only have the sides, I always think about what was I doing prior to my first line? Where was I at? Who was I with? Why was I doing that? What was my purpose? What was my objective? What was I trying to find? So then sometimes I may improv before I go into the first line. So then that way it's natural.
Right.
When
Little elements.
Yeah, when I bring it out. And then, you know, if in this era we're self-taping, then you just cut that part out. Sometimes you can leave it in. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on what it is. But whatever gets you into that mode of being real and authentic and listening, acting is listening and reacting. True.
Very
like
much.
That's how you and I are talking. If I'm going to listen to the actor instead of worrying about what my lines is, because by me knowing it and I understand the text of what's the story is and where is it going and what my objective is in the story. The lines are there, but I'm telling the story.
Right. And being in the moment. Talking about being in the moment with the listening and reacting. It's funny because we as actors sometimes focus so much on the lines and we miss the in the moment, no pun intended with repeating moment, but there's just beauty in listening and reacting and people, you know, we do on set, we memorize our lines, but I love you diving deeper and understanding your backstory, your moment befores, even the importance and significance of improv and how that could change the scene completely or give you an objective going right into a scene so that your intentions are pure and straightforward and understandable. But sorry, I'm a nerd when it comes to film stuff, but it's just
say something really quick. I coach a lot of actors in their auditions.
Yes.
And one of the things that I do is the improv. Like if I see that they are taking the scene and they are acting, right? They are giving what they think the casting director wants or what that person wants, and it's not real. And I'll say, I don't believe you, right?
Right.
So then what I have them do is I'll have them improv the entire scene. I don't want you to look at the lines. I don't want you, whatever comes to you, you know the story. Right. You know what the sides are. I want you and I to just go back and forth. And then we'll just improv the whole entire scene. And then they bring in those beats, those choices, all of that in that improv. So once they have that, then I say, okay, let's go back to the sides. Did you feel that? Do you understand where we're going now? Yeah, I get it. This works. You know what I mean? But you're telling the story. So then once they get that out of their head, then boom, they go right into it. So that's something that works really well with some of the actors that I've coached.
That's great. That's actually, oh my goodness, that's such a great tip. And also, shameless plug, being an acting coach, that's amazing. First of all, not shocking, but truly amazing. But yes, the just the day and age of self-tape, I love how you hit on that, but just acting versus giving us creative freedom to take what's not officially in the script or on the sides and just create it and watching legit magic before our eyes. I think that's something essential as one actor to another, that even, you know, industry professionals watching tape, seeing the scene go the same way over and over and over again, but adding a little something could make someone go, that's an interesting take, you know, just those little nuances and moments. And being an acting coach, that's awesome.
And let me say this, not to cut you off. Let me say this. It took a while for me to get to that space. You know what I mean? But when you're able to hear what other people went through and you're able to adapt some of those qualities so that way it can help you move a little further. like each one teach one.
Yeah.
You reach your hand out so then that way the other person doesn't have to go through what you go through. But everyone has to go through their own journey and their own battle with themselves to know where they need to go and how their journey is going to be and what aha moments that they're going to have for themselves and know what works for them.
Yeah.
What may work for me may not work for you, but everyone has to find what that is so that way you know how to move forward.
So
You know
true.
what
So
I mean?
true. Yes. Yeah. I love that. I love that. And just also to put out there, you're not just an award-winning actress, you're also a producer and a director, as I stated in your bio before. It's just to attest to that title alone. It is so important to be multifaceted in this business and in this industry, and to expand yourself into the world of the business in the industry. Yes, it is the entertainment industry, but this is also a business. And to be able to understand that and to attest to that, kind of, makes you more adaptable, allows you to navigate it in certain ways. It allows you to connect with certain people in ways you couldn't before. But all that to say, with you holding the title of an actress and of a producer and a director, what were some of the lessons that you've learned from your experience with producing and directing? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, real quickly. It looks like your audio is a little delayed with your visual, like with your camera.
has that been going on the whole time? Okay. Is it good now?
A little bit better, but it's okay. Keep going. You're
You
good.
sure? You want me to
Yeah.
go out and come in?
You can come out and come back in.
Yeah, let me do that.
Okay, no worries. Just pause for a short minute while we get Malika back on screen.
Okay.
There we go. We're back. There
Is that better?
That's much better. There we go. So
Okay.
I was talking in terms of your role as an actress, a producer, and a director, but your experience as a producer and a director, what have you learned from that, from those two titles that you carry and, from your career?
Yeah. When I was in college, my professor told me that not only did I have a gift of acting, that I had a gift of directing and producing. I didn't want to hear that because I just wanted to act. You know what I mean? And then once I started doing more behind the scenes, when I first came to LA, I was working with one of my mentors, Ella Joyce, who used to be on Rock, and her one woman show, and helped produce her one woman show, A Rose Among Thorns, a story about Rosa Parks. And we traveled for 5 years. And I learned so much just watching her every night. She's just a beast. It was like advanced acting classes. But now, I didn't understand it then, but I was doing so much producing, into where now it works for me because that was my journey. Now I understand the business of show, of contracts, of travel, of what's expected, for people that are union rules, uh, equity rules. You know what I mean? It was so much stuff that I learned that I was able to now, as an actor, be able to adapt for me for a smoother transition. Also, to have empathy with other producers and directors where I am the talent, because I know what they go through to do a project. You know what I mean? Versus just coming in just as an actor. A lot of times when I'm doing projects, I'll give grace because I know what it is to be a producer. I know what it is to be a director. So for me, it helped me to be able to say, okay, let me give them grace, but maybe what I know, I can be able to help them, and I can be able to help the production elevate because of what I know. So then I'm able to bring that in. So a lot of times if I'm on a project, I end up producing it. or I end up helping out, because it's like, why keep it for myself? Why keep the resources that I know if I can see that this area needs help and I know how to do it? Why I'm not going to help?
Right.
You know what I mean? So directing, when she told me that, I didn't really understand what she meant at the time. And then, but I embraced it, and I took, directing classes, and I liked it. And then I ended up directing at another university. I went to Grambling State University, GSU, thought you knew. And so I ended up getting asked to direct a big project at Louisiana Tech University. And they only select so many people. And, once you're submitted, and I was selected, and I directed it, and I loved it. And then once I came to LA too, I was producing and directing a lot, because that was the one thing that I didn't have to worry about rejection, because I knew that I had that where I can make people feel good, look good, organized. They can depend on me. They can trust me. I didn't have to worry about that. So I hid behind the producing and directing, but also was able to elevate those persons and their careers and what they were doing, to where now, with me wanting to pitch my own projects, I've already done it for other people. So now I'm in a position where I can do it for myself.
I love it. I love it so much. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I can do it for myself. I love directing. I directed, you guys check it. I don't know if you can check it out. I think it's going through the circuits. A Devil in Her Bed. I co-directed that with my best friend, Jamie and Parker. And that was my first short film I directed, because I've directed all theater. But this was my first short film I directed, and I loved it. I'm definitely an actor-director. You know what I mean? So it's a lot that work. But, but he did the more of the technical side. So I was able to learn the technical side, and then also me being an actor and being on shows and being in films, of knowing angles and shots and what looks good and what doesn't, and, the whole viewing. So it all kind of goes hand in hand of what you're learning. You don't know at the time, but God prepares you for so much. He prepared me for so much at the time of me feeling, when it's going to be me, when it's going to be my turn. And he's like, baby, it is your turn. You learning. You're absorbing. I'm like a sponge. I'm absorbing. I'm learning. So I can go in confidently and say, okay, well, this needs to be like this, 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 and this, because I've already done it. I've already experienced it. So I know what's expected, because God prepared for that. Yeah.
So true. So true. Well, I have one final question for you, Malika. You've been such a blessing here. And real quickly, there was a little moment where your internet kind of went out just slightly, but it's perfectly fine, because this is audio oriented. Yes, we do have the visuals, but in addition to that, I have the audio. So don't stress about it completely at all. But I would love to conclude this interview, and I do this with all my guests, is the title of this podcast is Aspire to Inspire. And with this platform, I always want my guests or individuals that I bring on, you're inspiring to me, and I want to uplift you so you can inspire those you come in contact with through this interview. But the question states as follows: Malika, how do you desire to use your platform to inspire other people around you?
Man, that is my platform, is to inspire people and to help them to elevate. I love to see people win. So my knowledge, my understanding, my craft, what God has given me, I bless other people with that. You know what I mean? Like I have a quote up today that someone asked me to do about it's not about just entertaining. It's about being in a position to inspire others. So if someone understands my journey and what I've been through, and it inspires them to follow their dreams and their desires, then I've won. then I know my purpose. I understand why God gave me this. God gave me one of my gifts is to serve. And I think that's why God allowed me to produce and do behind the scenes so much, because I was serving others. So then what you put into other people is going to come back around to you. So the more that I pour into people, into their careers, even though I didn't know it, God was already setting everything up to where I have 3 seasons on Wicked City, GLAAD nominated TV series, doing films, doing plays, doing what I love, what I asking for. Why? Because I still planted so much into other people and being kind. When I come to set, I thank everybody. Thank you. It can be the person that's putting the tape for my mark. Thank you for that. Because if you didn't have my mark, I don't know where I'd be going. So, thank you for that. My PA, thank you for taking care of me. When I come and I drive up and you have my coffee, I appreciate you. Everybody I thank, because number one, you never know who people are. You never know where their journey is going to go. And it is just right to be kind, and to be nice. One of the things that I want, and I'm just going to leave this on my note, my last note, is I've been background. I've been an extra. I know how that feels. I know how it feels like a cattle. I know how it feels like you feel like you're nothing. On my productions, my future productions and things I want to do, I want my background to be taken care of and feel like the elite. That is a must. That's going to be on my set. Like, I may not could give everybody a trailer, but I want something where they not just outside, they sit in a chair, and not nothing wrong if that's something that certain productions have to do. But as far as me of being in that position and knowing how it felt to be an extra, I want them to be taken care of and know that they're needed and that we can't do it without them. So I want to treat them with the respect and thank them for us being able to utilize their services on our set, which means put them in a trailer, let them have they want, the food they want, and not nothing separate from the main talent to the, you know what I mean? I want to show them nothing but love.
Oh, I love that about you. You have a true heart of service, and also a heart to give back, highlight others, but also want better for others.
Yes.
That's something rare to see,
Yeah.
and I think that's worthy of expressing in this time. You just never know. You never know.
Yeah.
But Malika, I'm truly in awe. I've said thank you so many times, but I feel like those words aren't enough to describe this moment and how I'm feeling in terms of gratitude and in terms of having an industry professional like yourself here. I wish you the best in all your endeavors, as always, and just to know that you have a fan here who looks up to you, who admires you, and I can't wait to see what you do next, because I know it's going to be greater and better. And God bless you in every way, shape, and form.
Thank you so much, and I am so proud of you. Just keep going, keep shining, keep giving God all the glory, understanding your foundation and your platform and where God has you, and pouring into others. Like I said, when you pour into others, it comes right back. Speak into existence. If you have manifestation letters, write it out, whatever that is. I don't know if you do that. Write out everything, so then that way you can see it, you can check it off. The sky is the limit for you. And I appreciate you understanding your calling and being obedient. And look what you're doing now. So I'm excited to see where God is going to take you in all areas, in this, in acting, whatever your desires are. I'm excited to see that. And thank you for having me.
Of course. God bless you so much. Stick around. But for individuals watching and those listening to the recording, as always, we will always have more inspiring interviews just like this coming to you guys very, very soon. But until then, I'll catch you at the next one. Thank you so much again, Malika.
Thank you.